Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another episode of Daddy's Right Here Live. I am your host, as always, Shabir Aleem. Welcome. It's another day above ground, another opportunity to help somebody else. Thank you for tuning in.
Look,
Got a great show today.
it's a bird.
Stay tuned.
It's a plane. It's just my dad. My dad. My dad.
Moving through the streets with swagger, need. Often works to job to take care of my need. Taking it all in stride. Daddy seldom complains. His emotions he'll hide. All his aches and pains stays up in his head about what must be done. Taking no time off. Daddy stays on the run. He's my dad and I love him. With him I have no fear. Because anytime I need him, I know Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Daddy seldom gets credit. We don't see all that he does. What's important to us is always showing Daddy love. His love sometimes tough to learn why for a while. Our relationship special, one of Daddy a child. Facing his responsibility, making it do what it do. Physically and emotionally available, yeah, Daddy's coming through. He's my dad and I love him. With him I have no fear. Because anytime I need him, I know Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Nothing easy about fatherhood, protecting us from all the no good. Most of the time he gets it right, he'll usually see the light. He'll take his problems to God. Sometimes we'll pray together. The most gracious, most merciful one, with him the storms will weather. He's my dad and I love him. With him I have no fear. Because anytime I need him, I know Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Here, 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 here. He wasn't no Rolling Stone. Daddy was bad to the bone. He never rolled with many. He tends to roll alone. With all he's been through, Daddy always stayed the course. Living life on its terms. God is his go-to source. He turned his life around, seeking refuge from the one above. Now we have the best of him, a daddy full of love. He's my dad and I love him. With him I have no fear, because anytime I need him, I know Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. He's my daddy. He's my daddy. He's my daddy. Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. He's my daddy. He's my daddy. He's my daddy. Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Here.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's just my dad. My dad. My dad.
Moving through the street with swagger, need. Often works to job to take care of a need. Taking it all in stride. Daddy seldom complain. His emotions he'll hide. All his aches and pains stays up in his head about what must be done. Taking no time off. Daddy stays on the run. He's my dad and I love him. With him I have no fear. Because anytime I need him, I know Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here.
Hey.
An identified dark moment. Our eloquent limelighters have reared their ugly heads from the depths of the cut to prance in front of the camera, possessed by envy, spite, and grandiosity, to openly admonish another brother for trying to do his due diligence in a manner that could have dire consequences for blacks in America. Just one more example of diversionary tactics often used to avoid personal accountability for knowing what time it really is and what must be done, and doing nothing. Nothing. Most of them collaboratively would mean so much to our cause, yet they act independent, while we all are still dependent upon others.
America, America, again words were spoken, and again our brother labeled a token. They were talking man to man, so I thought. But the other ones walking away to avoid facing the differences while diminishing the similarities, missing an opportunity to offer impunity from what many thought he should have done for the black community. He was the president of the United States of America, who is black. He was not The black president, he was not. The black president, he was not. See, politics can't fix what's wrong with us. See, politics can't fix what's wrong with us. See, politics can't fix what's wrong with us, but they can and have been wrong to us. Anyone expecting his 8-year tenure to give blacks jobs, justice, and equality? You know, the things we keep begging for year after year, election after election, are more delusional than those who believe that number 45 and his supremacist cohorts are going to re-enslave the black man. Imagine that. Toss your caps. Now, in defense of our brother, not that he needs it, but it's for him. Many of us adore him. Today, his convictions guided him to applaud them. He offered me words of wisdom to those who engage in idle chatter, not the act of sitting still, but worship of the one who instills in others, shoot to kill. Great again has never been, at least not in the eye of the beholder of many men. Certainly not by those in the circles I have been in. Slandered and ostracized, no mollies, no drive-bys, no innocents sodomized. Standing erect, brothers, he checked words, expressed his storage, refreshed. Great again, America's mess. Are our heads so far up the asses of these so-called self-professed black leaders that our air will remain polluted with disdain and distrust, laden with cane? Or become able to differentiate sincerity from conspiracy, authentic from fraudulent, a message from a messenger, knowing what time it really is and what must be done? Knowing what time it really is and what must be done? Knowing what time it is and what must be done? America, nickels and dimes in my pocket, some with 3 stripes. This game ain't social media where you look right. Deals to be made. I'm a mover and a shaker.
Time to get out there and vote, y'all. Whoever you're voting for, get out there and cast your vote. Don't let anyone sway you from who you want to vote for. That's your decision. Just vote.
What I do in office, minimal messages sent to you, subliminal, taking words not mine, a criminal. The game I play, political, think you know me, not on the same level. I'm a real gangster, running with the devil. Only see me in person when it's time for the race. I know none of your needs, a damn disgrace. An elected official,
Liquor chaser, character superficial, constituent defacer. Knock on your door when I need your vote. A coattail rider, track record just Joe. What to do in office minimal, messages sent to you, subliminal, taking what's not mine, criminal. Political, what I do in office minimal, messages sent to you, subliminal, taking what's not mine, criminal.
political, once in office, promises broken,
Misled you with confidence, made you a token. Some of us are real, many are just flakes. We're members of a party with no booty shakes.
that you represented from the heart to the house. When it's time to speak up for you,
Quiet as a mouse,
I have my own agenda.
little do you know.
Once getting into office, I just go with the flow. What I do in office minimal, messages sent to you, spending no taking what's not mine, criminal, the game I play, political. What I do in office minimal, messages sent to you, spending no taking what's not mine, criminal, the game I play, political. You thought I'd make a difference,
Gave me your trust, like cement in a condom, no love, just lust. You want to see change, so do I.
but my allegiance is to the party,
So to you, I lie.
I understand the system. I know you don't. Leaving the party, I know you won't. Invited to the party, you're having no fun. Aiding and abetting, thinking I'm gonna be the one. What I do in office minimal, messages sent to you, subliminal, taking what's not mine, criminal, the game I play, political. What I do in office minimal, messages sent to you, subliminal, taking what's not mine, criminal, the game I play, political.
What I do in office minimal, messages sent to you, subliminal, taking what's not mine, criminal.
The game I play, political. What I do in office minimal, messages sent to you, subliminal, taking what's not mine, criminal. The game I play.
And again, I'm your host, as always, Shabir Aleem. Welcome to another live episode of Daddy's Right Here Live. Whoever you vote for, just cast your vote. It's yours. It matters. It doesn't matter who agrees, who disagrees with your vote. It's yours. You have your own perspective. You have your own worldview. Nobody has the right to change that. Nobody has the right to debate with what decision you make because they're not in agreement with it. It doesn't make a difference who you vote for. It doesn't. Do the research, do your homework, figure it out for yourself. Nobody has the right to tell you who to or not to vote for. Plain and simple. You don't have to disclose to somebody who you vote for. You don't have to get on the bandwagon of who to vote for. Make your decision for yourself. What do you want? What do you feel is best for you as an American? Are you looking for more health care? You're looking for varied programming available in your community. Are you looking for our borders to be safe? Are you looking to be, excuse me, in a country where there are not bombs flying over your head? There's not enemies amongst us who are trying to destroy America from within. Right? There's America and then there's Americans. And you have to understand that. You have to understand that America is a front for big business, right? That's what America represents, big business, right? Figure it out. What's best for business? What's best for the safety of the country? right? What we need to do is focus on what we're doing in our households. What are we doing in our households? What are we teaching our children in our households? What are we doing to ensure that our family members are getting the information that they need to have in order for them to understand how to navigate through the complexities of this world, of this life? Plain and simple. It's not something you're going to get from the government. They're just not going to give it to you. No matter who's in office. Well, what 28 years, so 32 years, but 28 of those were Democrats, and we have 4 years of Republican. Do the math yourself. Look at everything that has transpired. Ask yourself, are you satisfied with what you're seeing? Are you really satisfied with the cost of living? Are you really satisfied with what's happening at the borders? Are you really satisfied with the changes that are happening? Are you really satisfied? I've been complaining about prices for years, and the prices continue to go up on merchandise, and the merchandise gets smaller. Somebody winning, and it's not Americans. Somebody's winning, and America is looking real weak. So you have to ask yourself, what is most important to you for this country? For this country, the country that we live in, the country that our grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and so on and so forth are going to be living in. Are we establishing a foundation of safety within the country? Or is it all about programs? Programs that never seem to benefit the masses. All the money in the world, and we're still in the same position. Why? Why? For me, it has more to do with unity. There's no other group of people running around here expecting the government to give this subsidy or that subsidy or give this or give that. There's so many more things that we can do to bring about change as Americans in America that benefit the whole. Because at the end of the day, it's not a black president, it's not a white president, it's the president of the United States of America. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Right? You want to do more, you want more, go for more, get it yourself. It's not going to come from the government. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. If you need 2 jobs, you got to get 2 jobs. If you need to find a side hustle that's legal, it's a lot of things out there. It's a lot of things that you can do online right now. It's a lot of things that you can do remote right now. Right? We keep having crumbs thrown to us. We've had so many entertainers that have come out for this person and that person, and so much. Specifically right now I'm talking about for Harris. We've had all these entertainers, those who live lives unscathed. They come out, they do their little happy dance, a little dog and pony show, and they go back to the pearly towers that they live in. They don't experience none of this stuff. And the stories of what I once went through doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You worked, whatever capacity you worked to get where you are. Tell us that story. Don't tell us how a damn government is going to bring about that kind of change for us, because it didn't. The government didn't make that change for you. There was nothing that the government did that brought about change for you to be a billionaire. Right? It was policies, there was legislation, all those things pushed to enable you at some capacity to find loopholes so your wealth could grow. And you found those loopholes. You found those loopholes. Right? So when you make a decision to vote, make a decision to vote for what you think is best for the country, for the whole, right? For the whole. That's what you have to look at. Because we've had, like I said, all these years of Democrats ruling, and what has changed for us? What has changed? What has been removed? Right? We still have the Voters' Right Act. We still Voters' Rights Act. We still have those things in place that have to be renewed, so on and so forth. Why hasn't anybody just tossed the damn thing out? Why hasn't anybody just gotten rid of it altogether? Why are we still fighting for that? Right? I'm just saying, look at the things that are in place that should have been out of place, that aren't out of place, that are still in place by the Democrat Party. So I'm saying, just look at what you think, not what somebody else thinks. I mean, I can go on and on a bipartisan rant, right? Because there's good and bad policies on both sides. On both sides. The hell with a damn bandwagon. I don't give a damn what you say. I don't give a damn what you think. I really don't. If you really cared, for those of you who have these platforms who continue to put out information about why you shouldn't this and why you shouldn't that, going out, with the intention to embarrass and humiliate people because they choose a particular person that they want. Hold on, y'all. Did it again. I know I picked it up. I don't know where I put it down at. Hold on, y'all. I got it. I put it down with sprayer. Hold on, y'all. See, this is what happens when you're mobile and you set up in another part of the house, and I can bring the laptop up and I forget to plug the laptop up. But we good. See, this is the kind of stuff y'all catch when things are live. This kind of stuff. So anyway, yeah. So anywho, listen, cast your vote. Vote for who you want to vote for. Plain and simple. Because you wouldn't want to be in the position where you didn't cast a vote for who it is you thought should be in office, and then things turn out a different way. You sitting down saying, "See, I should have." Well, you're going to do that anyway. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care who you vote for. You're going to get that anyway. You're going to get, "See, I shouldn't have voted for this person. Yeah, see, I should have voted for that person." You're going to get that anyway. All of them lie. All of them make promises that they don't keep. All of them do. Right? And that's why I've never been about the whole party thing. Like, get on board with the party. You got to be a party. Why? You know what? I am the Aleem party. That's the party I am. I am the Aleem party. If you got a problem with that, turn the channel. Don't listen. You don't even have to make any kind of remark. Just keep it moving. You don't have to agree. Plain and simple. Who the hell am I to tell somebody who they must vote for? Nah. If I'm running, I'm going to tell you must vote for me. Somebody else running, I can't tell you must vote for that person. It's that person's responsibility to put themselves in a position where you want to vote for them. Right? Where you want to vote for them. Anywho, so speaking of who you vote for, who you want, who your choice is, right? Today's show, we're going to talk about things you must accept if you want a healthy relationship, right? And for me, that's with anybody. This is focused on looking for love. But if you want to have a healthy relationship with anybody, you have to have conversation. And there's some other things that you have to accept in that conversation. Like they were talking about in the news about families that are split, that are divided over Harris or Trump, and how confrontational some people have become in their relationships, so much so that they separated because it's become just that heated. Now, I think that's a little stretch to take it to that point. I think you should already know somebody's worldview if you're married, living with them. You don't know, and I say that crassly because a lot of people don't know each other. A lot of people don't. A lot of people are sleeping with the enemy. Don't even know who you're sleeping with. Don't even know who you're. And a lot of these people have been together for years, and you still don't know Joe or Jimmy. You still don't know because you don't talk, because you don't have those conversations, because all y'all do is get together, do, go out and date, eat pizza on Friday nights together, fuss, fight, and argue, and nobody's having a conversation about growth, personal or as a couple. You're just not having that conversation. You're too busy trying to have fun. You're too busy avoiding the things that must be confronted. Too busy. And then you start finding out things about one another. Now you're upset. Now you're wondering what happened. The fun has stopped. So you say. Like anything else that you get that's new, it's exciting. You know, you buy that new car, and whether it's a current car or whether it's a older model car, you get it, it's great. You start getting things, hanging things from the mirror, putting things on it to be louder, for it to be prettier, brighter, stand out, put a stereo system in there so it can rock, right? All those things. And then you start having to get it serviced. You got to put gas in it, certain gas. Sometimes it's high test. You thought you had a regular lead gas tank and you find out you got premium, so it's no 87, 89, it's 91 or 93, but you love the car, but it's killing your pockets now. You got to have a certain amount of oil. It used to be 4 quarts. This one is 8 quarts. And then this goes on and on. And after a while, you begin to say, yo, this thing is killing me. But it's what you want. And just like in a relationship, right? So let's go right to the article. The concept, let me always go with the title. 3 things you must accept if you want a healthy relationship. Looking for love? Consider this reality check. And the article is by Mark Travers, PhD. It was posted October 24th, so it's a very fresh article. All right, key points. The concept of the one who will sweep you off your feet and check every box is both enticing and misleading. Point 2. Accepting that you won't always see eye to eye with your partner is key to balanced, healthy love. Point 3. Sometimes we have to let go of certain expectations or make sacrifices for the good of the relationship. So those are some of the key points we're going to cover today coming from this article, right? And I'm trying to bring it together for you so you can kind of relate it to what's going on in your life. Okay, when we're searching for love, it's natural to focus on what our ideal person looks like. Do they meet our expectations? Do they check all the boxes we mentally listed? While there's nothing wrong with knowing what you want in a partner, the problem comes when we hold on to this rigid vision so tightly that we close ourselves off to real opportunities for love. We become so focused on ticking off boxes that we may miss out on someone who could offer us something deeper and more fulfilling than we've imagined. The main thing that stands out in this part here for me is um, our ideal partner. See, there's ideal and there's idea, right? So what we establish as being ideal is formulated by an idea that originates from our environment, right? So you grow up in an environment where mom and daddy together, they're great relationship, communicate with one another, and everything is just lovey-lovey, right? They talk to you, they didn't beat you down with words, physically. Easy going life. Everything was just wonderful. Everybody who comes along has that set of expectations put upon them, him or her, right? That's how, that's your idea, right? That this is what it is. You see it here in that environment. Okay, I'm taking it here. So this becomes your ideal relationship based on the idea that was formulated by that which you grew up in, that environment you grew up in, right? So now you have this list that you're talking about here, this checkoff list. Okay, a doctor or a lawyer works, got always got the pager on, always working, grind, and passing, writes checks, give credit cards, you know, mom maybe stays at home, volunteers at the school, and so on and so forth. Also, all these kind of things is where you idea. So this is on your list. So when you meet somebody, this ideal list comes out. It comes out. Hey, my dad didn't do this. No, my dad didn't do that. But I like this dude. Oh yeah. You know, jock on a football team, right? Really smart. Everybody seems to like him. He's outgoing. Kind of reminds me of my dad in some aspects, right? Y'all hook up, start, chit chatting with each other on the phone and everything like that. And you see all the commonalities and things like that. You start making that connect. Yeah, let's just check this. Yeah, this is check. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has aspirations to go to college, or 8-year medical. Yep, that's what he wants to do. Yeah, everything looks real good. Looks real good. So one day you're sitting there having a conversation about something, and here comes the disagreement. Yeah, here comes the disagreement, and he gets real aggressive. He gets real aggressive about this particular matter. And you're like, whoa, hey, where did that come from? That's not dad. You start looking at him differently now. But you're digging because of what you have conceptualized within your mind about your desire. See, your desire and your checkoff list are different. See, that's the part you missed. The ideal person, right? Just because you didn't see or hear your parents argue doesn't mean they didn't have them. They can be separated and still acting accordingly in your presence. Yeah. They go in the same room, but you don't know if one of them is sleeping on the floor, sleeping in the chair, has an inflatable. You don't know any of those things. You don't really know how they think. You just see. And because they conceal the rest from you for your own safety, your own benefit, you miss those things. You miss the person because you just have these two people. But you don't know anything about how they really conduct themselves, how they really deal with certain things. because you can't see them in that light. And when it happens with them, you're like, what the hell? Right? They just lost track of keeping it concealed. But here this other person begins to show you these other things. But who's at fault? You and your checklist, or the person who is not meeting your expectation? Or is it just you? Who's at fault? And ultimately, what happens is fingers start getting pointed, blame starts getting thrown, and disaster strikes. And then you're sitting there trying to figure out what you can do to change that person, the other person, not the person within you, the other person outside of you, because it's not my fault. I have these expectations. I should have these expectations. Yes, I should. But are they realistic? Are they realistic? So it says we become so focused on ticking off boxes that we may miss out on someone who could offer us something deeper and more fulfilling than what we've imagined. What is your perception of love? You see these two great, wonderful parents. They do everything for you. They lay everything out for you, right? They seem to have really good communication between the two of them. You like that. It went from idea to ideal. This is what I want. I want this too. But you made your selection based on appearance and what you thought, what you perceived as being the ideal person. You didn't look at what might be. You looked at what you want. You looked at the expectation. So therefore, when you were faced with that aggressive response back because of your expectation of how they should deal with things, and they dealt with it differently, you made an argument with them about who they are. So now you're fighting with me about who I am in an effort to change me and shape me into your ideal person based on your checklist. But it's not matching. But then there are parts about this person that they were trying to express to you about who they are, with some really deep stuff about who they are and why they feel a particular way. But you didn't agree. And because you didn't agree, it became a conflict. It became a confrontation because you became disagreeable because you wanted this perfect person. You wanted this person to match your checkoff list. So the last thing here is it can be difficult to let go of these expectations. But if you're seeking a healthy, lasting relationship, there are three key things you need to accept first. And we're going to talk about those three key things. The first key thing, the perfect partner doesn't exist. Hey, girl mom for life. The perfect partner doesn't exist. If that's what you're looking for, stay away from other people because it doesn't exist. Nothing perfect about any individual walking God's green earth. We've all grown up with some idea of what our perfect partner will be like. Someone smart, funny, attractive, kind, and maybe with great hair too. The problem with this, though, is that it's not based in reality. Many of these romantic ideals come from childhood fantasies or popular cultural narratives about what love is supposed to be. This concept of the one who will sweep you off your feet and check every box is both enticing and misleading. Right? A 2017 study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships highlights how these perfectionistic ideals can persist in our romantic lives, whether it's the belief in love at first sight, that one true love can overcome all obstacles, or that right person will be perfect in every way. These expectations will often lead to disappointment. The more we cling to those ideals, the more we set ourselves up for frustration and dissatisfaction when they really don't align. So what we have to look at is somebody posted something on Michael Baisden about it was something of in the sense of um, are we planning to get a house, build a bank account together, build a business together? Because if you think we just going to F around and that's going to be the extent of it, you're wrong. Well, when you look at that list, so you want a business, you want to get a property together, you want to establish, some kind of financial um agreement as to how we build wealth. We're saving money and investments and things of that nature, or we just going to have sex all the time. That's not going to happen. We're going to do these other things on this list, building, because we ain't just going to have sex all the time. Just like in here, it says, love is something we sow over time, right? Here's what is it? Let me go back to that. The more we cling to these ideals, the more we set ourselves up. It's not even talking about communication. It's not talking about personal growth and development. Nobody wants to have those conversations in relationships. What can you do for me? What have you done for me lately? Can you get me this? Can you give me that? Give me, give me, give me. And then, so you want to act dependently, but then you want to be treated independently. There's a conflict there. There's a conflict. You want to be Miss Independent off my bank account, off of what I have, off my wealth, because that's the expectation, that I give you all of these things. And if a dude approaches a woman like that, unless she's a cougar, he's a bum. Because he's supposed to do this. He's supposed to do that. Where did you get that from? There's no conversation about unity. There's no conversation about let's build this. Let's build good communication. Let's build a relationship with one another. Let's see what it is that we need to work on as individuals so we can continue to grow. Because it ain't no sense in being in this thing if your only focus is on those things that you listed. You want a fine house and all those things. It's okay to want those things. You want to build first? No, I have time for that. Okay, well, you need to go get your own then. You need to get your own. I might not be interested in buying a house. I may find that renting is cheaper because of certain costs and fees and other things that seem to exceed the mortgage. Right? This is the position I'm comfortable in. I might want to just lease a car and not buy a car. Therefore, I can get a high-end car under a lease and just never own a car. I'm not interested in owning a car. I'm interested in keeping a high-end car, right, on my driveway. Okay. Right? So you have to look at all of these things. And if you don't have conversations, you don't know what a person wants and what a person, needs and where they're actually going, because where we're going right now is together. That's what we're doing. We're going together. And then we wind up not going in the same direction at some point in time, and then we have to blame somebody. Well, we don't have to, we choose to blame somebody for not going in the same direction we're going in. But you waited years to start having conversations. You wanted to go there all along. So why didn't you have that conversation early on? Ask yourself that. Why didn't you have that conversation on our second date? Why didn't you have it on the third date? Why didn't you have it in the first year? Oh, well, I was trying to figure out. You should have been figuring it out in the beginning. Oh, well, if I'd have did this, then I wouldn't have gotten none. That's ultimately what you need to say. If I'd have put these things out in the forefront early on, I wouldn't have. Right? Number 2, you're not always going to want the same things. And we just got finished talking about that. We're not going to always want the same thing. We're just not. Here's what the point says. One of the most challenging truths to accept in a relationship is that you and your partner are never going to want exactly the same things all the time. We all have our own unique personalities, desires, and needs. While you may have found someone who shares many of your interests, it's inevitable that there will be differences, some big and some small. Perhaps you're an extrovert who loves socializing, while your partner is more introvert and prefers quiet evenings at home. Maybe your idea of fun is an adventurous weekend getaway, but your partner would rather relax with a good book. These differences may seem trivial at first, but they can create tension over time if you expect over time if you expect your partner to want exactly what you want when you want it. Right? That's a real simple point there, isn't it? You have to understand that I don't always want to do those things. I just don't. Like I choose to practice a spiritual life today. The wife goes to church. I'll go to church with her sometime, but she understands that I'm not always going to go. But we had that conversation early on. I'm not interested in religion in no capacity. I live a spiritual life, right? There's values and principles within religion, right, that I use as a foundation of living. No dogma, none of that. But she understands I have no interest in religion, right? But I support her. I decided I like to hear a good word every now and then. I pick up the Quran, I read, I listen to the Quran. I keep my thumb on the pulse. Remembrance of God and His grace and mercy are of the utmost importance for me. So remembrance is something that is moment by moment. I'm remembering, right? But it's a matter of some people over time be like, yo, well, you ain't gonna never. I wasn't that way when you met me. People show you their hand when you meet them. You choose to believe that you can either change that person or that they'll outgrow it or that they'll just stop doing it because you'll love it away, you'll sex it away, you'll gift it away. You'll think those things are going to just dissipate like smoke. You think that. You believe that. That's what you convinced yourself of. You can't take anybody away from a condition that they're in. They choose to come out of that condition. So don't waste your time, energy, and effort in demeaning them, demeaning yourself, going through all those changes for year after year after year, and then, get pissed off because the person didn't do what you thought they should do. That's what point 2 is. There's going to be a difference. And you need to accept that. And that doesn't mean that you go off doing things, on your own and, doing it spitefully and then doing spiteful things, hurtful things, like, cheating, winking and blinking at somebody else because your partner doesn't want to do those things. That's not fair. Just roll. Since that's what's important to you. And you go roll with that. And then you'll see all the other stuff that you left behind because you wanted that. Because you wanted somebody to do that with you. Now they do that with you and now they're beating your ass. Now they're cussing you out. Now they're disrespecting you. Because you traded the goodness in for something else that you thought was most important. Go on with your bad self. Go right ahead. The last point in number 2 is accepting that you won't always see eye to eye with your partner is key to balance, healthy love. Instead of trying to mold your partner into a version of yourself, recognize the value in your differences. These differences can actually make the relationship more dynamic and interesting. How else will you encounter new perspectives and experiences that you wouldn't have had otherwise? Think about it. Accept the differences, embrace the differences. That's who the person is. We wouldn't have never had this. You would have never had this kind of experience if we weren't together. You wouldn't have never known that this is how this was. You wouldn't have never known how this tasted if you never tasted it because I like to make it. I like to cook it. I enjoy it. Here, just taste some. You wouldn't have never experienced that. There's a lot of things that a lot of I nevers that when you're in love and you're trying to make things work that you try, all in the name of, right, compromise, right? Willingness to do something different, willingness to please that person. But if you're always stuck on no, I ain't about everything, it's obvious where this is going to go in the end. Number 3, you're going to have to compromise. Here we are. You're going to have to compromise. Compromise might not sound romantic, but it's an essential part of any stable relationship. Love isn't about one person getting everything they want all the time. This means that sometimes you're going to have to let go of certain expectations or make sacrifices for the good of the relationship. For the good of the relationship. You can really see how committed a person is to a relationship when you see how committed they are to compromise. Okay, I'll go. I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert, right? I'm more of that one. I'm capable of being both in the certain areas I am. So if my wife asks me to do some things and I'm not really feeling it, I'm in my introverted mode. I have to understand that about me. But I have to make the compromise to go on, to go on. Okay, I'll go, right? And not be present and being a butthole. Sitting there, not trying to enjoy myself, trying to make them have a difficult time, trying to please me and make me happy because I went, no, I go and I do my best at having a good time and showing them I'm having a good time and, enjoying parts of it that I possibly can. But I don't sit there like a Grinch and no, I don't do that. And that's important. That is important. That you don't go there, you don't speak negatively about whatever is going on. You don't act like, like I said, like a butthole and sit there and I don't want nothing. What time we leave? don't go. Just don't go. Let's be straight up. If that's the case, if I'm not, listen, if I say to her, listen, I'm just not feeling it, or my anxiety sometimes is an issue. I just I don't feel like being around. I don't know, you know. But I push myself because I want to make sure that I do things that she wants to do, because that's what you do as a partner. That's what you do as a member of the family. Y'all live together. Y'all do things together. I just don't. Hey, listen. She knows who I am. She knows how I am. But I put that out there like that so she understands, right? That it's not. I'm just not. If I'm in my particular mood and like I'm a little sharp in my responses or something like that. Hey, listen. Sorry, I just got a whole lot going on. Didn't mean to speak to you that way. Not that I do it, often, but I'm capable. I know when I get in work mode, when I'm in thinking mode, when I'm in deep thought. Sometimes I'm a Libra. I'm moody. I'm moody, just like anybody else. I have my moods. But when I see that I'm out of pocket, I acknowledge I'm out of pocket and I apologize for it. That's just what you have to do sometimes, right? So the truth is, compromise isn't the same as settling for less. And while it might be tempting to chase after a fantasy relationship where compromise isn't necessary, that kind of relationship doesn't exist. As the study's author poignantly points out, chasing after a short term fantasy is often the problem and not the solution. Fantasies about what is or might be out there often prove to be a poor substitute for what we already have. Are you looking for love? Are you looking for somebody to do these things for you? Are you looking for something that you should be doing for yourself and not raping somebody else up? Because that's what you're doing. You're taking my money. You have me buying you all these things. And when I'm capable of providing those things for you, where you at? Right? You got the house. You got the car. Where you at? See, you start putting together that Frankenstein monster. And people live their lives today because they don't want to compromise on dating. I'm going to date this person. This person gives me diamonds and all these other little, trinkets, expensive trinkets. This person over here puts money in the bank account for me. This person over here bought me a car. So you have this Frankenstein monster. So you're committed to nobody. And you tell them you're not committed, right? And you justify your behaviors by raping somebody else of what goodness they have to please you. To please you. And then you throw a tantrum when you don't get your way about things. So you let that person go. As good as I was doing you, because that's all you were doing. As good as I was doing you, I can get this to somebody else. All I asked you for was, okay. Dudes do it too. And we're really damn good at doing it. Right? Put it on her real good, move in, right? Start running her crib, ain't paying no bills, but then you out doing somebody else too, right? Coming back home at night with her, sleeping with her, driving the whip that somebody else bought you. Yeah, we do it to each other, right? And it's a lifestyle for people today. Get married for what? People don't want to compromise. People don't want to submit. No. But if you want a healthy relationship, you need to understand it's about compromise. It's about compromise. It's about compromise, commitment, loyalty. Right? What are you loyal to? What are you willing to submit to? What are you committed to? What would you compromise to have joy and love and peace in your life? You just want to sit around and complain. A lot of people doing that today. A lot of people are just sitting around just complaining because they want to complain and complain and complain and then drag somebody else into their shenanigans. That's just not how it goes, man. Hey, listen. Thank you for tuning in. You can be doing anything else on a Saturday morning, but you chose to tune in to another episode. Daddy's Right Here Live. Thank you for tuning in.
Calling brother. Playing this game, it's insane. The one who got your book is probably your name. A game of fame, every man for himself. Personal gain, monetary wealth. Looking at a stretch, a nickel, maybe more. The homie gave you up to stand free for sure. Getting to the top, being in charge. 1-2-foot soldier, now sarge. Moving up the ranks, wanna be top dog. Putting in the work, no loyalty log. No remorse, but they want his status. Wetting up bodies, messy bad habits. Messy bad habits. You say the streets are yours. How's that so? When your homies wet floors, but that's yours. Spilled on a daily by one another. See him the next day, calling brother. You say the streets are yours. How's that so? When your homies wet floors, but blood that's yours. Spilled on a daily by one another. See him the next day, calling brother. Calling brother. Holes in your pockets,
But there's a hole.
your family's without you. Your woman they pull. Low down and dirty. In this game you play, you learn the truth when you go away. Books empty, bills
Behind your back, they plotted. Soon she'll be mine. You was down to what it was. Better I have it now. Cause the dog's friends to the end. Chucky, no dogs running here, puppy. Street life is mucky. Getting through each day is lucky. Is this what you really strove for? To the ground you do for. Stick up boys, they come for. Shots fired, only made more.
homie made more. You say the streets are yours, the house that's so. When your homies wet floors with blood that's yours. Spilled on the daily by one another. See him the next day, coming brother. You say the streets are yours, how's that so? When your homies wet floors with blood that's yours. Spilled on the daily by one another. See him the next day, calling brother. Calling brother. Want fame and fortune, even glory at the end of this game. Just another yard story. Funky, flunky, canteen junkie. You a donkey, just another research monkey. Make a decision, life or death. What's your vision? Having faith or this? Chasing paper was the mission. Now a 6x6 you living. Liberties you're missing. All the time you've done. No woman's flesh to feel. Get out your sock, pull your gun. Your life is what you make it. Quit the game, be free. Be true to yourself, not your enemy. Not your enemy. You say the streets are yours, house that's so when your homies with floors with blood that's yours. Spilled on the daily by one another. See him the next day, call him brother. You say the streets are yours, house that's so when your homies with floors with blood that's yours. Spilled on the daily by one another. See him the next day, call him brother. You say the streets are yours, house that's so when your homies with floors with blood that's yours. Spilled on the daily by one another. See him the next day, call him brother. Call him brother. Call him brother. Call him brother.
Hey, y'all have a great weekend. Again, I'm your host as always, Geraldine. Peace.
Philly. What's happening, y'all? Y'all know what it is.
Electronic devices, when is the crisis? Mass propaganda seeks to divide us, government control. Media platforms, blatant disrespect is conform to a land full of fake. Where's the Messiah? Just can't wait. In the meantime, but the black man is a line in the sand. Walk around, minds in oblivion, there is just a mass. But look at the state's written, disunion of a nation. White House fronts for big corporations. Religious leaders, political bleeders, community constituents, left as bleeders. To a government so divided, laden with Confederates, just can't hide it. Black slaves are freed, many whites are bald. Juneteenth for us is what it's called. Traumatic memory won't free me, so we made easy. This song was released back in 2021. I think this was my second release, 2021. So we made easy.
This is my baby. The being black has its privileges for racist killing us. Is what it is. White privilege, gentrification, reoccupation, America great again. 4-year mantra, 45 in sight. Black movement, dark to the light. We have the fortitude to shut it down. See the bright red noses looking like clowns. Our reach is far, lineage African. All come from us, white, red, yellow, our skin. True rulers, kings and queens, fully self-sufficient ways and means. Grace, mercy, blessings bestow. Peace be upon us. Your antics are old. You're not superior. You're inferior. Just a lot of talk. It's superior.
Your guns, we don't fear. We get our contribution year after year.
Traumatic memory won't free me, so it made easy.
So it made easy. So it made easy.
Greenwood, we could do it again. Black unity don't mean you, my friend. You got it twisted. I think you missed it. Black supporting blacks to Wall Street District. Momentum regain support and say separatist nation. We're ending the game. Reviving our history. Murder not a mystery. Anger strange fruit in the 21st century.
Respect, connect,
Circle select.
the time has come to
Put it in check.
Traumatic memory
Won't free me, so we made easy.
So we made easy.